Okay, so basically there's two different situations. Procedure given three sides, side, side, side. You find the angle opposite the longest side. It must be the longest side. After that, you then use law of sines, find one of the remaining angles, and then the last thing, you're going to use the angle sum of a triangle to find the third angle. All right, by finding the longest side again, we're getting rid of the ambiguous case. All right, so we find the angle opposite the longest side given. We then will use law of sines to find one of the remaining angles. We will then use the angle sum of the triangle to find the third angle. Because once we have two, all we're going to do is subtract from 180 to get the third side. All right? Okay? Now, the second situation they possibly give me is two sides in the included angle. All right, better known as side angle side back in the day. You will use law of cosines to find the missing side that will be opposite the one angle they give you. You then use law of sines to find one of the missing angles. Okay? You will then use triangle inequality to determine which angle is an appropriate solution. We will walk through that as well. Okay? And then finally, use the angle sum of a triangle to find the possibility of the third angle. Okay, so example one, find the angle measures of a triangle given A equals 8 feet, B equals, there we go. Okay, find the angle measures of a triangle given A equals 8 feet, B equals 19 feet, and C equals 14 feet. All right, so I start with my structure, which is the triangle. All right, perhaps I put B down there, which is 19, C over here, which is 14, and A over here, which is 8. That means that's capital A, that's capital B, and that's capital C. All right, since 19 is the longest side, we need to get B. So we set it up, cosine of angle B. Cosine of angle B is the other two letters. So A squared plus C squared minus B squared. All right, so it's all three sides. The first two that aren't the same are being added. We're then subtracting the side opposite it all over 2AC. All right, A is 8. 8 squared. C is 14. They're interchangeable. Okay, the only major one you got to make sure is the one opposite the angle we're trying to find is being subtracted. All over 2 times 8 times 14. The numbers down in the denominator, and these two numbers should be exactly the same. I then evaluate. 8 squared is 64. 14 squared is 196. 19 squared is 361. 2 times 18 is 16. 16 times 14 is 64, 224. Not going to matter. You can do all that in a calculator. When you're done finding all that, you get negative 0.4509. And yes, it is negative, which is fine. So that means cosine B equals negative 0.4509. We now hit second cosine negative 0.4509. Since it's negative, I know it's going to be obtuse. My calculator should shoot out 116.8 degrees. Any questions at this point? All right. So this is 116.8 degrees. I then use law of sines. Okay. So if I take the 19 over sine 116.8, and I can put that over either of the other two sides. I'm going to pick 8 over sine A. I'm going to cross multiply 8 times the sine of 116.8. I'm then going to divide that by 19, and sine of A equals 0.3758. And then going to do second sine, 0.3758, and that gives me 22.1 degrees. All right. The reason I picked the biggest side is I now know that that's got to be 22.1. When we did law of sines last week, it's possible that that was its supplement, but I know that can't be because the biggest angle is opposite the biggest side. So by picking the biggest side first, you don't have to worry about anything else. And then finally, to get the third angle, the three angles add up to 180. So add the two I have, 116.8 plus 22.1 is 138.9. Subtract that from 180, and you get 41.1 degrees. All right. So that's the situation when they give you all three sides. All right. Everybody good thus far? All right. So now we move on to the second example. It says, given the measure of angle A is 25 degrees, B is 9 meters, and C is 12 meters. Find the remaining sides and angles of the triangle. Okay, so again, I draw my triangle. All right, I can put A there and make that 25 degrees. And then B and C are the included sides, so 9 and 12. Again, they are interchangeable. All right. Now I'm going to use the standard form since they're giving you the angle itself. When they give you side, 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 you use alternative form. When they give you two sides in the included angle, you're going to use standard form. So that's capital A, so little a squared equals the two sides they give you squared. So 9 squared plus 12 squared. All right, again, if you remember it as B and C and you want to go through all that, fine. But if you just realize these are the other two sides, that's fine as well. Minus 2. Those two same numbers, 9 and 12. Cosine of the included angle. The cosine of 25 degrees. All right, whatever the side squared is, the other two sides squared, their sum minus double their product times the cosine of the angle they give you. 9 squared is 81, 12 squared is 144. Put them together, you got 255. 9 times 12 is 108. Double that, you get 216. Cosine 25. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the only thing I need to see when showing work. All right, the rest is up to you. When I do 225, sorry, should be a 225 minus 216 cosine 25, I get approximately 29.23. Please, oh please, remember your last step when dealing with squared, much like the Pythagorean theorem, is a square root. You got to do a square root. So 8 is approximately 5.4. So that's the remaining side, 5.4. All right. Personally, I would then take the biggest side, which is little c, and use law of sines. So sine c over 12 equals the sine of a, which measures 25 degrees, over 5.4. Twelve times sine 25 divided by 5.4. I get that decimal, 0.93915. So the sine c is approximately 0.9392. When I then do second sine, 0.9392, the calculator will give me 69.9. The complement gives me 110.1. So those are the two possibilities. Now, this is why I picked 12, the longest side. That means C has to be the biggest angle. If I make C 69.9, 69.9 and 25 is 94.9. This makes that about 85.1. But that can't be. That angle ends up being bigger than C. So therefore, that's got to be the 110.1. And then again, angle sum of a triangle, 110.1 plus 25 is 135.1. Subtract from 180 and you get 44. So again, you're going to use the law of sines to find the possible angles and then see which one works. All right. If you pick the biggest side to work with law of sines, you know it's got to be the biggest angle, and that may be beneficial for you in order to problem solve. All right, so to set us up for the homework that's due tomorrow night at midnight, here's some practice problems. Law of cosines in class 2021. So we're trying to find BC. We're trying to find BC. Okay? BC is a side. The one letter that's not there is A. So that's what I'm trying to find. A is opposite big A. So again, I'm going to find that side. Okay? I'm going to take the other two sides and square them. So 12 squared plus 8 squared. I'm going to put minus 2 and then those same two numbers, 12 and 8. and then cosine of the angle they give me, which is 72. All right, so if you don't want to worry about the A, B's, and C's, just realize two sides they give you, squared and added, minus double the product of those two sides, cosine of the one angle they give you. All right. $144 plus 64 is 208. Minus 192 cosine 72. Comes out to be approximately 148.67. You then have to remember to do a square root at the end. Square root of 148.67 comes out to be approximately 12.2. All right, they didn't ask you to find all the sides, they just asked you to find A, so 12.2 and you're done. All right, so please work on number 2. Work on number 2. You end up with approximately 34 kilometers. All right, 2 more. We're going to start with number 3. Now we're trying to find the measure of an angle, angle B, which is up here. All right, so now we're going to use the alternative form since we're trying to find an angle. All right. The problem is, okay, we're trying to find an angle and the two sides are over here. All right, the two sides are over here. All right, so basically this is the side angle side situation. So therefore you have to find the side in order to get it. So in other words, little a, which is here, means a squared equals two sides they give me, 27.3 squared plus 20.3 squared minus 2 times 27.3, 20.3 cosine of 59.2. All right, so for you to find the angle directly, and that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow when we come back, they need to give you, all right, the sides. If they only give you side angle side, then chances are you're going to have to find the third side first. All right. When I do this math, all right, 27.3 squared plus 20.3 squared minus 2 times 27.3, 20.3 cosine 59.2. A squared is approximately 589.84, making little a 24.3. And now law of sines kicks in. I'm trying to find angle B that is opposite 20.3. The 20.3 over the sine of B equals 24.3 over the sine of 59.2. Cross multiply 20.3 times the sine of 59.2. Divide that by 24.3. Sine of B comes out to be approximately 0.8590. And then do second sine, 0.8590. And I get about 59 point, going right back to where it started. 20.3 over sine B, 24.3 over sine 59.2. All right. 20.3 sine 59.2 divided by 24.3. This shouldn't be that. It should be 0.7176. We do second sine, 0.7176. And we get 45.9 degrees. All right. So to finish up for today, number 5. Finish up for today, number 5. Actually, forget that. We'll do that tomorrow. All right. So basically, Isabel's going to ring in about 5 minutes. Basically, in Google Classroom, you will now see law of cosines homework 1, which is this one. All right. You can feel free to get started on that. All right. There aren't anywhere you need to basically the top, you're finding side lengths for the first 4, 5 through 8, you're finding angles, and then number 9 through 12, you're solving the triangles, and we'll go through that tomorrow. All right, so if you want to get started on that, great. If not, that is due tomorrow night at midnight. Tomorrow we will finish this section, and then we will do Heron's formula, which is another area application, which should be pretty straightforward. Anybody have any questions at all? Everybody's good? All right, so if you don't have any questions, enjoy your day. I'll see you tomorrow. Quizzes should be in hopefully by the end of the day. I should be done grading them tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day, everybody.